Hello, I'm Ollie and this is Criminally, where I talk about crime, pulp, horror, that kind of thing. Today, my announcement video for Occult Detective October. Now, as I sat down to film this in early September, it is feeling very autumnal outside. I think of September as kind of an extension of August, certainly the first half of September. But today definitely feels like autumn. It's chucking it down with rain outside. It's very windy. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but it's definitely getting me in the mood for some autumn reads. And Occult Detective October is a fantastic event to get you ready for spooky season. So this is the second year it's run. It was launched last year by MJ from the channel Reading This Life, who is the creator of it. There are a ton of co-hosts who I will link to in the description to this video, who are many of whom are much more knowledgeable about the occult detective subgenre than I am. But let me start by trying to explain what the occult detective subgenre is. So, as the name suggests, it's a subgenre that's about kind of mystery type fiction, but with occult themes. So often with either like actual detectives or amateur detectives investigating spooky or like otherworldly goings on. So it's a subgenre that started kind of in Victorian times and was quite big during the kind of pulp magazine era in the early 20th century. But there are loads of more recent examples. So things like Scooby-Doo and the X-Files are like, big popular culture examples of the occult detective subgenre, or Ghostbusters for that matter. So anyway, yes, this is a month where we celebrate that subgenre and explore it a bit more, because whilst there are some really well-known examples of it, it's not one we tend to think about and talk about that much. So I really enjoyed this event last year. I'm very much looking forward to it this year. Recommend you try at least one occult detective book if you're a horror fan, or even if you're not a horror fan. For me, it's kind of the synergy of my two favourite genres, horror and crime, because you get that mystery element, but you also get a horror element. So, as I say, all you have to do to take part is read one occult detective book, but there are themed weeks to help guide you should you want that. So let me talk you through what those themed weeks are. So the first one is to read something from before 1960. So an earlier work of occult detective fiction. As I said, it was really popular, particularly in the kind of pulp magazine era. And that's where I'm going to go for my pick for this week. So I'm going to read a short story by the author Seabury Quinn. So he was a really big writer of occult detective fiction in the pulp magazines. I'm going to pick a story that was originally published in Weird Tales magazine, which is available for free on Project Gutenberg. So Seabury Quinn as an author is someone who last year a number of the co-hosts of Occult Detective October were talking about and praising. So I really want to try his stuff, but it's quite expensive to buy for some reason. There are collected volumes of his works, and they're like, even on like Kobo, they're like £15 each. But there is a free story on Project Gutenberg, as I say, which is called Pledged to the Dead. And this features his famous occult detective character, Jules de Grandin. So I'm really looking forward to trying that one. And if I enjoy it, I may splurge and buy one of the collections as well. So week 2 is post-1960, so more modern occult detective style fiction. So for that one, I'm going to turn to one of my favourite periodical publications, Occult Detective magazine. You can see I'm wearing their fantastic t-shirt today. So this is a regularly published magazine. You can get it on Amazon, either digitally or physically. It is absolutely fantastic. So Dave from Occult Detective magazine very kindly sent me this issue recently, their Mythos Special 2. I've read a number of issues and always really enjoyed it. So this has a load of different like short stories, but often by kind of modern indie authors, all in the occult detective subgenre, and then they have articles about the kind of classic stories and the subgenre generally as well. It's a really good way to kind of dive into occult detective fiction if it's something you're unfamiliar with. I really recommend it. So yeah, I'll leave a link in the description to this video to their website so you can check out their stuff. So that's week 2. Week 3 is to read something with either by a diverse author or with a diverse character. Now, as you know, if you've watched my recent videos, I'm trying to get through my backlog of review copies at the moment. One of those is in the occult detective subgenre, so I'm going to read that, and it's Japanese, so I can use it for this diverse week, and it looks really fun. So it is Associate Professor Akira Takasugi's Conjecture folklore studies. So this is a light novel, so a kind of YA type novel, but it's based on a manga series. I have read one of the manga volumes for this and really enjoyed it. So just a fun, kind of light-hearted occult detective style story about this guy. So the story is the main character, Akira Takasuka, is he's like a university professor, but he investigates like mysterious goings on and local folklore and things like that. So yeah, I'm going to enjoy diving into this and seeing what it's like. And then week 4 is Anything Goes, and I'm leaving that one open. So I'm going to see what my co-hosts read during the month and see if there's anything that particularly takes my fancy. It may be that I dive into a bit more Jules de Grandin, but we'll see. I'm going to keep an open mind for that one and see what comes up. So do check out the co-host for this. As I say, many of them are much more knowledgeable than me about the subgenre, and you'll find really useful resources on their channels to help you understand it. But yeah, it's just a really fun kind of fiction, particularly if you enjoy crime or horror fiction or the melding of the two. So yeah, do take part if you feel like it. And as always, thanks very much for watching. Hope you're safe and well out there. Hope you're reading good stuff, and I'll speak to you again very soon. Cheerio.